Well, how are we doing, boys and girls? Welcome back to the Rugby Muscle YouTube channel. I'm your host, TJ. That was a weird intro, but this is also an unusual video because we're going to bring back something that I haven't done for a while, and that is a workout training video. I hate calling it bloody workouts, but that's what people call them. They're not workouts, they're training sessions. They are done to get you better. A workout is a thing that you do on its own. Semantics aside, let's get into this session. Before I do, because I want to get straight into this session because I'm hating this lighting on my face right now. It looks kind of weird, right? We'll get back into the closet sometime soon. But before we do that, we're going to go through with this training video. Today, we're going to go through one of Beatrice's sessions that she did the day before a game. Now, a lot of you might be questioning, like, how can you train the day before a game? Surely you're going to go into this game extremely fatigued because of that training session. You're going to go tired, you're going to go compromised, you're going to compromise your performance. It's not the case with this type of session, which is a power session. They can be done even on the day of a game. It's very hard to see the negative effects that would happen from this game. I personally have never seen them. Some guys don't like them. Some guys, just because of their schedule, cannot fit them in. And if that's you, that's absolutely fine. They're not going to necessarily give you a huge benefit to your game. They're just not going to be overly fatiguing. A lot of people can find them beneficial. A lot of people enjoy the fact that they promote a lot of blood flow. They feel energized if they train either the day of the game or the day before the game. And some people just don't like taking a full rest the day before a game because it leaves them feeling a little bit lethargic, right? They feel like they're sort of just sitting there being a little bit gross, and they feel that tiredness sweep into their bodies almost, and then they get to a game and they feel a little bit tired. So this is a really good way to avoid that and have you feeling good into a game. It's also a really good way to get some quality power training in a really difficult time in rugby season, to make improvements, to find the time to get some quality training sessions in, to get some quality power work in, because particularly during the week, you've got your two rugby training sessions that most amateur athletes will have, which are going to be quite physical, which makes it difficult to do your power training because you're going to be going into it fatigued. Whereas if you're doing it the day of a game or the day before a game, ideally you've dropped most of your fatigue from that previous week to prepare yourself for that game. So we're going to use this opportunity to get a quality power session in. Now, as you'll see from this video, this stuff is such low volume that you don't end up fatiguing yourself for the game. And like I said before already, you actually feel a lot of athletes will report back that they feel kind of energized. So if you're in season, give this style of session a go. Be really careful with adding the volume in. Add it in slowly. Start with like literally 6 to 8 sets total per workout, per training session. God damn it, I'm the one that doesn't like that word. And build up from there. So we'll go for this session. This is week 2 of the training block, and you'll see everything that is involved. Look at that. Sneaky transition there as we include everything. I say I included everything with this session. I might have skipped over quite a few reps of this warm-up, but the warm-up itself is an incredibly important part of this session, right? Because you cannot go into power work feeling tired or feeling tight. So getting a good quality warm-up, it's also part of that getting that blood flow experience as well, right? So if we're getting some good blood flow, we're preparing ourselves for the game really well, but we're also preparing ourselves for this upcoming power session. If you just get straight into your power work, there's a good chance you might feel fatigued because you're adding a bit of a shock to the system with this stuff. So total body warm-up, proprioception work going on, some single foot hops here. I'm not quite sure what she's doing with this one, but I think she's supposed to go all 4 different ways. But it's a good way for her, particularly because she's had some issues with her feet and issues with her ankles. It's a really good way to get some quality proprioceptive work, single leg balancing work. And everyone's favorite fucking at the minute, mobility work. Everyone loves that mobility, but I digress. So we get into some explosive lifts here. I hate to call them the Olympic lifts because it's a weird name, but that's what people call them. I'm going to stop having problems with the names of things at the minute, and we're just going to get into these Olympic lifts. So we can go fairly heavy with this stuff. I think we ended up doing 4 sets of singles for both the snatch and the clean and jerk. This is also something because she's been wanting to try the Olympic lifts for a while. the snatch and the clean and jerk for a while. So this is the day that we can kind of go heavy for her because she's not technically proficient, because she's not lifting a real heavy weight. It's okay that she can basically max out on this day. She can go to, I think we end up going 40 kilos on the snatch, which that was a few weeks ago. She's already made a decent improvement on this. But once you get to about body weight snatch and maybe a little bit above body weight clean and jerk, that's when it gets potentially fatiguing if you're doing this stuff the day before a game or the day of a game. That's when I would be really focusing on getting that bar moving as fast as possible. At this weight, it's not going to be any sort of negative consequence on her game because it's not going to be fatiguing. It's just not that like systemically heavy. But good work here, and a good way to get some extra practice on the Olympic lift, because that is one of the biggest gripes that people have with the Olympic lift, is that they require a lot of teaching. So why not throw them in on this day where we're doing fairly low volume, we're not trying to stress the body. A time to play around the Olympic lifts. It's also time to play around with some jumps, where we're not really testing to see how far she can jump total. We're just teaching the body to react off the ground and move in different directions. I like the broad jumps to lateral jumps and the lateral jumps to broad jumps combination, so I'm going to go back to them just so that you can see the idea here is that it's just teaching like basic agility movements, right? So she's learning to shift the body sideways to forwards and forwards to sideways, and the reason that we're not jumping just as far as possible is that we want to control that landing and get her moving forward. Like that rep there wasn't really a perfect rep, right? Because she's sunk too deep into this squat. That's why she bailed on the first rep, and the second rep she's still sunk too deep there as well, right? Whereas what we want is a much less than a 90-degree bend in the knee as we absorb the shock of the landing and then drive forward. This will progress over time as she gets into this stuff, and she will, eventually be really explosive with both the jumps, having a real nice long distance, and also have minimal ground contact time. But this stuff is progression. This stuff takes time to get used to, and having come off a block with not doing too many jumps, this is really good for her to be doing. Speaking of jumps, this final I guess giant set or super set with 3 different exercises performed back to back is a fantastic option to finish off with, just to get her really feeling explosive and ready for game day. So what we've got here is 2 sets we did total of box jumps to depth drops to, as you see here, dead mills. All she's done here, or all we've done here, is switch the treadmill off, and that's allowed us to use the treadmill like it is a sled. So as you'll see, actually let's do it from the start. So both sets. Notice the height of the box also. You don't have to jump on the highest box possible. That's just proving how high you can get your feet. You're trying to jump as high as you can, so don't worry too much on about how high the box is. Just practice getting those hips as high as you can, maybe landing with straighter legs, and as silent a landing as possible. Boom. That's what we're trying to do on this one. And then the depth drops, what we're trying to do is minimal ground contact time. That's the real focus here. Nice absorption, but minimal ground contact time to then jump and propel the body forward on the broad jump. That's actually a really good demonstration of how the exercise should be done as you begin, and as you get better and better and better, you're going to extend that broad jump out. You're going to be more and more explosive. Dead mill, as I say, just a treadmill turned off. I wouldn't do it in front of gym managers. They might get a little bit annoyed at you for wrecking their machines, but it's their fault for not having a sled. Alright, so that is the entire session. If you have any questions on any of the movements, let me know in the comments below. If you want to see any more of our training sessions, let me know in the comments below. If you want to see any sort of future video from the Rugby Muscle YouTube channel, or if you just want to leave a comment, a thumbs up, anything you can in the comments below, it really does help out the algorithm. This YouTube channel is growing, and I'm really happy for that. I'm happy to keep dedicating more and more time to this and do things like bring my phone or camera to the gym, invest in better lighting so that it hasn't just whacking one side of my face, do all that sorts of stuff. Please let me know or drop a comment below. It really does help out, and obviously smash that like button. If you're new here, of course, what are you doing? why aren't you subscribed? Click that little subscribe button and the little notification bell, because I'm told that's also really important. Thank you guys so much for your support. We've got merch coming soon. If you'd like to support anything that we do here at Rugby Muscle, or you'd like to join any of the programs, all that stuff will be in the links below. That's it. I'm going to maybe make it a little bit awkward before we get out of here. All right, see you guys in the next one.